The landscape in Orange County is changing a lot, and there's a ton of new developments that are coming with a totally different style than we've seen in Orange County in quite some time. So this is actually part 2 of a 2-part video series. If you haven't seen the first one, we'll put the link down below. But this one's going to be going over several different developments that are coming through that we've already covered each one individually in their own video in depth. Today I'm going to be going an overview. So again, this is part 2 of a 2-part series. So if you want to see the other one, click that link. But let's go ahead and go in. And if you're new to the channel, don't know who I am, I'm Christian Stubbs, team leader, owner of Onyx Homes. We're a real estate sales team that has helped a ton of people move all over Southern California. So I'm going to go ahead and dive in. First of all, I'm going to talk about, let's see, 1, 2, huge. 2 is a massive one. 3 is also big. And then 4 is 5. So we got 5 different developments we're going to talk about today. So I'm going to go overview on each individual one. If you hear one that you think is really interesting, make sure you save the link to the full YouTube video and watch that next. But let's dive in. So the first one is going to be Bolsa Pacific at Westminster. So this is a redevelopment. So some of these are brand new developments, some of these are redevelopments. But either way, these are big changes coming to the landscape of Orange County. I'm also going to give you the context of what I think this means for all of Orange County as a whole, and then really for the individual areas on top of that. So this is Bolsa Pacific at Westminster, so formerly known as the Westminster Mall, which is kind of dead, kind of boring. It's 26 acres that is going to be totally retrofit into 1,065 rental apartments. There's going to be 100-ish townhomes for sale, so that's good. So it's not just rental. There's going to be some units for sale. There's going to be a 175-unit hotel, room hotel, which is not a large one. It's kind of a boutique hotel. 25,000 square feet of retail and food, and then a 2.5-acre park. So this is going to have amphitheater, dog park, pickleball courts, a walkable green space. So if you've been following along, this is very common for almost all of these mixed-use developments. So there's housing, there's usually some aspect of work. This one doesn't really, other than retail, and then green open space. So it's like, how can we make little cities inside of Orange County without everything just being kind of concrete jungle? So I think they're doing a really good job of keeping like green and open space in these developments. So let me open up the websites for these as well too. So I'm going to share my screen here. All right, so here is the website. So as you can see, here is kind of the map. Here's the existing. This is where Target's at. And then you can see the overlay of what is going to be changing. So I'd say about 2, maybe half-ish of the area is going to be totally different. It's going to look very modern. As you can see on this particular phase here, or slide here rather, lots and lots of green space. So this is really, I think, overall very, very good. Now it's going to be in 3 different phases. April of 2023 is when they started kind of the process here. Phase 2, they were going over plans, and then phase 3, December of 24, is when they actually were supposed to break ground in 2025. So that's what's on the website. As of October 29th, the tenant leases expired. So the end of 2025 that was happening, and there really have been no updates since then, right? So this is just what's supposed to go on. So kind of on hold. The website's a little bit outdated, but as you can see, this is happening. It's been approved. So we will keep you updated on this. Make sure you subscribe because we are getting a lot of you who are interested in this type of information. So that's Bolsa Pacific at Westminster. I think that's really good for the surrounding areas because this is really just kind of a dead, boring area. And honestly, they're not really removing a whole lot. It's all parking. So let's move on to the next one, which is probably the biggest update to all of Southern California, probably all of Southern California, honestly, but certainly to Orange County. This is the OC Vibe. This is huge. I cannot emphasize this enough. So let me talk about what this is first. OC Vibe is right where you have the Honda Center, so where the Ducks play, right across the street from the Angel Stadium. And this is a big, big change. If you are familiar with LA Live up in by where, what is it called, Crypto, or whatever Staples Center is called now, there's just this like all kinds of stuff right there. So this is a 100-acre mixed-use live, work, play, and this is going to be the Anaheim Platinum Triangle, which is called OC Vibe. That's what it's actually called. There's like 3 different names for this. There's going to be 1,500 residential units. I believe all of them are for rent, so I don't think there will be anything for sale here. There's going to be hotels, restaurants, retail, office space, parks, and plazas. 3 miles of connected walking trails. 3 consecutive miles of walking trails. So last time I was on their website, they had this crazy map. There we go. So as you can see, Honda Center's right here. This is the 5 freeway. and you have the Arctic, which is the bus or the train station, train station, and then everything else is going to be new. So the parking structure over here, the Weave, this parking structure is already under construction and built, but all of this, so here's going to be your residential housing on the backside. You're going to have more parking and rideshare there. Here's your pedestrian trail. So this is going to wrap all the way around the entire thing, 3 consecutive miles. That's pretty crazy. Obviously you have Honda Center. Here's your urban park. So this is like, I've heard they're going to put like a little amphitheater. There's that guy right there. You have a Golden Bear, which whatever in the world that's going to be, South Plaza. So these are all just different things that are coming in, as well as a hotel. Now this is going to be massive. It's going to take a long time for this to actually happen. There's also going to be 1 million square feet of office space, right? This is huge. 2,500 residential homes. What did I say? 1,500? Yeah, so they've updated this since we wrote our notes. 30 restaurants, 20 acres of parks and plaza. So 1/5 of this roughly is all parks. So it's a lot of open space, even though honestly on this doesn't really make it look like that. I guess a lot of the open space is down back here, but the whole middle section of this as well too. This is going to transform the area. I mean, this is going to be a destination. Obviously you have the Honda Center, you've got Angel Stadium, and then Angel Stadium's like right over here, and then like up this way a little bit is going to be Disneyland. So it's not like there's nothing to do here, but they're like events, right? Disneyland's an event. Honda Center, like you're going to a game, you're going to a concert. Obviously same thing with the Angels. This is going to be like a destination place to go hang out. It's not an event. So I think this is going to be huge. There's tons of commercial around the area, like commercial buildings. There's not a ton of residential right there. I think this is going to be a huge grand slam. Construction's already underway, and it's supposed to be open by 2026 and full build out through 2028. I mean, that's fast, but like they're doing it. This parking structure is already pretty much done. When I went to a concert the other day, I parked somewhere over here in these office buildings. Yeah, this is happening. It's going to be very, very cool. Very excited to see this. So that is the OC vibe. Now, the next one I'm going to talk about is a short and easy one. So Hive Live, this is one we did a couple weeks ago on the video. We had tons of information. What it was supposed to be is 1,050 units of mixed use. Well, the property has since sold. This was actually where the Chargers training facility was at, and they actually kiboshed the whole project. So apparently it's not moving forward. So Hive Live is no more. So that's the update there. That's an easy, quick one. On the Hive Live, I will let you know if we have anything else going on there, but I don't know. The Village at Laguna Hills. So this is the Laguna Hills Mall, which has been as dead as a doorknob for a very long time. Not a whole lot going on there. This has had lots of different changes. So I've got a ton of different notes here. Let me go to the website first so I can see what's going on here. Now this is going to look very Spanish style, so very kind of on par for what you would hope it would look like in Laguna Hills, and really for Southern California especially. So we've got all kinds of these different pictures here. So here's the 5 freeway, and the mall as it is right now is pretty much all done. If you're familiar with the area, Pumpkin City is usually right here. So that's kind of where this is at. This is in and out in King's Fish House. So some of these buildings are still going to be here. Chick-fil-A is right over here. There's a gas station, so on and so on. So this is what it's going to look like overall. It's a lot of building with a lot of open space, I will say. But this isn't like lush greenery open space. This is just a lot of housing. It's a lot of buildings. All right, so here's what's going on. There's 1,500 homes that are going to be available, including multifamily rentals, 4 sale townhomes, single-family detached ownership options, right? So there will be the ability to purchase properties. There's also going to be rentals. You have the hotel. You've got the Village Park, which is the dynamic space. You've got $150,000 of retail, which I think is really good for the area. It's not like a mall. This is more like housing plus some retail, that's actually a lot of retail. 150,000 square feet is a lot. And then we have 200 below market rate housing. This is for just overall affordable housing, including seniors and veterans. So I think that's very cool. A lot of these complexes, some element of that into their developments. So open right now. All this stuff is already open. BJ's, Farmers Market, Gotta Love In-N-Out, King's Fish House. These guys are all open. So overall with this one, I think this is a very good use of the space. There's been absolutely nothing there. They talked about putting dealerships there. I think this is way better than that. I think it's better than putting just a bunch of apartments. All those tons and tons of housing. So for the area, I think it makes sense. Of all of the developments we've covered, this probably isn't my favorite. I think they really missed on the mixed use. It's really just more houses, which Southern California, like South OC's got that covered. But we'll keep you updated on this. Now, the last one on here is a really big one. So this is MainPlace Mall. This went crazy on the Instagram. This went crazy on Instagram. You guys were super interested, so I want to give you an update. MainPlace Mall opened in 1987, and they announced a $500 million redevelopment of the mall. I mentioned it was kind of dead, and apparently I got roasted on Instagram and TikTok, so maybe it's not dead. But this is what it looks like now, and this is what it's going to look like. Obviously, it's light, bright, and shiny, but it's a lot less wasted space in parking. Right, so like this whole building here is going to be, I believe, the hotel. Or rather, the apartments. You've got the hotel and office space over here and parking. So it's less parking space with a lot more stuff going on. So a total of almost 1 million square feet, a concert venue, 720 multi-family homes. Let me just go through my notes here instead of just going right through the website. 720 apartment buildings. This is going to be in 2 phases. 4,000 person concert venue. Almost 500,000 square feet of small shops. So not like Macy's. Think of like smaller retailing. Plus, there's going to be the big there's going to be your big Macy's flagship stores, but tons of smaller shops, which I think is smart. And then 140,000 square feet of office space, indoor, outdoor dining, food halls, stuff like that. So it's still huge. They're going to build, one thing they're trying to do here is an immersive dining experience, indoor and outdoor. I think that is a fantastic idea overall. Now, as far as updates, the first component is going to be a 309 unit apartment complex that opened in late 2023. So new tenant activity. There's a lot of moving in. There's a lot of stuff going on there. And I honestly think we're going to continue seeing this type of stuff. We're going to see old developments that are going to be redone, and they're not just going to be done as malls. Like, I think there's a lot of, like, the Laguna Hills Mall is a really good example of just dead. Not a whole lot of people went there. There was other better options, and a lot of these things are getting redeveloped into living, play, and work. So live, play, work. We saw that with OC Vibe. We see this with MainPlace Mall. We see this with South Coast Plaza. In the first part of this video, there's a lot of different developments. Now, I think it makes a lot of sense, and if you aren't aware of this, and most people aren't, is we have this huge housing crisis in Orange County specifically, and really a lot of Southern California, but specifically Orange County, where there's just not enough housing. There's way more demand than there is supply. It's one of the reasons why Orange County's got so expensive, is because more people want to live here than there are homes available. So by nature, prices go up and up and up. And there's a ton of people that commute from out of the area to live in Orange County. So if they had affordable housing in Orange County, they would not commute. That would cut down on traffic. It would cut down a lot of different things. But this is something that obviously there's a lot of initiatives probably from a government level to make a lot of this stuff affordable, to make a lot of better use of space. I think that just the days of just parking lots forever is kind of done. And how can we make these mixed use things where they can build up, they can put more housing because it's vertical, and instead of just doing apartment buildings everywhere, how can we make these beautiful places to go, stay, and be while having restaurants, having live, play, work all in one spot? So I think you're going to continue to see this all over the place, and that is your update part number 2. Now, if you like this, make sure you like and subscribe, because we'll keep going on updates for all of these. But if you are thinking about making a move and you're just kind of stuck on not really sure where to go next, I made this next video which goes through the entire home buying process. I'd highly recommend checking this out after you like and subscribe to this. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next video.